Hello everyone and welcome back to Bluebeam Structural Steel Estimating with JPC Toolsets. Today we will explore the efficient usage of JPC Toolsets for estimating, specifically focusing on creating custom toolsets for projects where the engineer of record utilizes member schedule to designate structural members on the drawings instead of the conventional type and size approach seen on AISC and CISC standards. Let's dive into a practical example by using a sample project from Australia, inspired by a query from one of our customers in that region. It's important to note that there are numerous grids of member schedule used by different engineering firms. The schedules may vary between firms, but the overall structure could be consistent across their projects. When creating tool chests, I recommend using the name of the engineering firm as part of the toolset name, followed by the specific identifiers for each type based on the sizes and schedules. So once we have our drawing opened up, so the first thing that we need to do is always to verify our scales. So right now, there's no firm dimensions on this drawing. So what we're going to do there is we're going to use our measurement panel and go into preset scales. So right now we see that we already have the scale 1/100. So that's already preset. So we're good to go from this point. So looking at these drawings, they're all using assembly numbers to determine the type and size, which refers you to the member schedule that I introduced to you guys there. So what we want to do with this is with the JPC toolset, it's a really big database where you don't want to be scrolling through the entire tool sets. So this is where you come in and start creating your own tool sets. And for this job, I would recommend that we create a custom tool set based on this engineering firm who does a lot of projects out in Australia there. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into my tool chest management and I'm going to add a tool set. I'm going to say add, and I'm going to call this tool set. I'll make it specific to this engineering firm. So we're going to call it member schedule. And the second thing is when you look at your member schedule, you're able to create a tool set for each different types of members that you have, because some of them, they just have too many members and you're going to be scrolling back and forth from different tool sets all the time. So here we're going to start with our UBs. So I'll call it UB and I'm going to save it and I'm going to say OK. So going back to the member schedule. So if we look at our GB1, we have a 310 UB32. So we're going to go up in our UB tool set and we're going to look for our 31032. And we're just going to left click and drag and drop it down into our new custom tool set that we just created. And one thing I like to do is I'm just going to grab any members from another folder and put it at the end there. It's just a way that Bluebeam works there. It's like it's hard to drag and drop like a single item to the last line of that tool set. So the way I do it is I use just a dummy size from another tool set there. So once you have your GB1, what you want to do here is like go into your label and let's call it GB1. And once you have it called, what I like to do is just test it on the schedule itself. So you see this works. That's no problem. If I look down into my markup list, we're getting our weights, our area that we need to paint, our lengths, so that's all good. So let's create GB2. So I'm just going to close the bend plates. So GB2 is a 250 UB26. So we're going to take 250, 25.7, drag and drop, and change the label to GB2. So here we're good to go. We'll just start. That's all good. So let's create GB3, which is at 310 UB40. GB310 UB40 right here. So we're just going to drag and drop it. We're going to call that GB3 and so on. And again, I'm just going to write it off or highlight on my schedule so I don't duplicate or just waste any time trying to focus or trying to remember which was the last one I did there. So let's do some PFCs. So again, what you want to do there is create a different tool set for your PFCs. So I'm going to go down to my manage tool set and I'm going to say add. And we said this schedule is from ARX Engineering. And we're going to say member schedule. And this is for a PFC, all of our PFCs there. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to get going. I'm just going to say, okay, so PFCs. So we have 250 PFC. So we're going to scroll and find it, drag and drop. And again, I'm going to use just a member to put at the bottom of that tool set. And here I'm going to change my detail. And so this was GB5. So I'm going to go on my label, double click, change the description of that member. And I'm going to try it out. And that's all good. So I'm going to create a GB6. This is all wood, so we don't need to worry about this. It should not be in our scope of work. So a GB7, which is a 230 PFC. So let's go back to our PFCs. Let's close our BLT and we said 230 PFC, which is right here. So drag and drop and just drop it on here. And we're going to call it GB6 and we're going to test it. All right, so to do this process, this is a pretty big member schedule for this project there. So it took me about half an hour to create all of these custom tool chests for my UPCs, my UBs, and also my columns there. So to make everything faster, I'm just going to load up what I had created. So it's pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete those one that I just created. So I'm going to go into my tool chests, manage my tool sets. And from here, this is where I would delete what I don't need there. So you click on it, hit your X, and now that's cleaned up. So what I want to do at this point is import the custom tool sets that I created for this project there. Like I said, it took me about half an hour to create it. So I'm going to hit import. So I'm going to go into my folders where my tool sets are and ARX right here. So I have my angle lintels, double click on it. So it goes in automatically. I'm going to import my Bluebeam tool sets, metals, ASI, tool chests, and my member schedule, my built-ups. Just going to verify quickly, making sure that the imports are going in. So yeah, we're all good. So what you see here, this is the property mode. So to switch to detail mode, you go into your WCOG and just change it to a detail. My built-up members, same thing. So this is property mode. I'll change it to drawing mode. So this is all good, and I'm going to keep on importing. Manage tool sets. So I'm going to say import. I'm going to go where my root file is for my tool sets, ASI. And here, so we just did the member built up. So we're going to do our columns, double click so that gets imported. Go back. Again, we're going to import ESI, my tool chest. So we just did columns, so our PFCs. And I'll get the last one. Toolset. Structural standard tool chest and my UBs, and we should be all good. So at this point, all the tool sets that were imported they're all at the end of your tool chest there. So I'm just going to change that to detail. Same thing here, detail, and our PFCs detail. And the UBs, yeah, we're all good. Okay. So if you look at the detail, your label, well, all of your label description are matching up with your member schedules. So it should make your work easy to do your takeoff there. So there's different ways of doing this there. So we're just going to scroll back. So if I'm looking for, say, a 1B13, I guess it doesn't exist. Oh, 1B13 right here. So I'm going to click on it and go all the way to where 1B15 ends. So we have 1B10 right here. And we're going to mark it up to where it starts. Oops. So as you can see, now your markup list is keeping track of all the members, or it's marking up all your member sizes and your labels into your markup list that you'll be able to export at the end there. So this was for beams, so let's do some columns there. So the way I have it set up is to do my columns, I like to use the search tool. So when I go into my search panel for this job, I'm going to have to use the the pictures to do my search there. So I'm going to get the rectangle. I'm going to highlight my C2, and also the sensitivity. I like to put it halfway between the minimum and maximum. And once that's set, I do my search. So from here, it's going to pick up on all of our C2s. So what I'm able to do is use this general checkbox, which checks every C2s that we have on our drawings, the lightning icon, and then I'm going to apply my count, which was the C2s. So now if you look at your C2s, they all have the check mark on it. And if I go down to my markup list, it gives you only one, and the reason for it is you have to right click on that line and split all of your items. So split all. So when we did this search, there was 3 items that the software picked up on. So by splitting it, it's going to give you an individual count there. Let's do some more. Let's do some 1C2s, C1s. So C1's right here. So I'm going to get a rectangle. And I'm going to do my search. And here all of our C1s are showing up right here. So again, to mark those up, select the checkbox and apply the account. And these are C1s. So right now it's picking up on a few C1s. And this is something you have to watch, because you might have to probably search for it a few times there, because it's going to pick up in different batches there. It's just normally we could do a letter search, but here for this job, the export on the drawings, there's a setting that wasn't done properly there. But anyways, it's still, it doesn't cause any issues there. It's still doable. So again, I have my C1s. The other way that you can do it is do it by your tool sets. Again, you go down to your ARX column, which are from your member schedules. So ARX columns. So here we have some C1s, so we could do it manually. So C1, 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 C1. So it doesn't take a lot longer to do it that way there. And the last item, you guys got the reasoning why we created those custom columns. Like I said, you'll be able to reuse them at the end of every jobs created by that engineering firm, and it's going to make your work a lot easier there. We're going to look at a GL1, which that's a member which consists of two different type and sizes. So let's go look at GL1, which is right here. So you see our GL1 is made from a 380 PFC and a flat bar at 200 by 10. So the way we would take this off is, first of all, I've done it. If I look at my built-ups, I do have it in here. So here's my built-up. So my tool was made like if the member was horizontal, but if I click on it, I'm able to rotate it. Oh, I'm just going to do an edit undo. Yeah, I'm able to rotate it. And then for the correct length, I just rescale it and stretch it if I need it to there. So that's our member. So the way I had to do it, I'll give you a quick example. So we said that was a 380 PFC. So I'm going to go in my PFC right here. We said 380 PFC. So I would do two lines. So this is your main assembly, and then we have a flat bar which is attached to that member. So I'm going to go into my flats. Where's my PFC? My flats, and we said that was 200 by 10. And boom. So here's my second line. So what you want to do after that is you want to make a grouping of that assembly. So I'm gonna highlight those two, select those two items. And I'm gonna right click on my endpoint, and we're gonna say, where's group? Just give me a second. So group, and boom, here it is. So now it's all grouped. So when you look at it on your markup list, so you're going to see besides your label the group that it is. And what you could do is you could also just change it to your GL1, and that's all done. So for this member, you now have the combined weights and combined area for that. I would call it a composite member since it's built up of two different members. So that's about it for creating custom tool sets, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to appreciate how much time this is going to save you there. So in conclusion, for those interested in learning more or seeking additional information, please feel free to refer to our newly created website at www.jpctoolset.com or reach out via email at johnp@jpctoolset.com. We encourage you to explore further and engage with our resources. Till next time, we hope that you all enjoyed this video, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time and attention.